Hi everyone, it's Damien for another session. Um, so like I said in the previous video, I was about to actually try to explain what I did on the last project that I did last week. Basically, I have a CSV file where I have a bunch of emails, and from that CSV file, I have to generate people. um, but as a CSV file as well. So I'm gonna show you the result. Um, Let me get back to the, well, it's not really there. I think, where is the, oh yeah, people. So you can actually find that that project on my GitHub. Um, so basically, if I run this CSV file parser, which is a file right here, you can see that I'm initializing the class, and I'm calling the parse and the write method, right? So when doing that, you can see there is no output file here. So this is going to create the output file. Output CSV file has been created, and this is the output, and basically it generates a CSV with the first name, last name, scope ID, and the email, basically. So this is nothing like very difficult to do, but I'm just going to comment the code here. So first we require the CSV library, and then we require the person serializer, which I'm gonna talk about later. So we declare a class called CSV parser with two methods, public method, a parse and write method, and two private method, the initialize and the open. So in the initialize method, we have the source, the destination, which actually has a default as called output.csv, which is that file right here. And we have also a list of object which is initialized with an empty array. And then we have the open method, which is basically calling the CSV open method from the library, and which accept a bunch of parameters which actually are defined in the library. But I use this syntax here to basically be able to um, call those parameters as I need to. Like, I don't have to define a bunch of parameters like the method was. It's basically options. Basically, what is called options in a bunch of Rails, a Rails app or Rails, even the framework Rails. I've seen those options, like parameters called options. So it's basically a hash where you you pass the key and you put the value, like, basically, but you don't have to pass all of them. So to do that, so then, yeah, I define the open method, then I have the parse method and the write method. But as you can see, I'm initializing here the parser, and then I call the parse method and then the write method. So let's start with parse. The parse method is basically going to open the CSV file, the input CSV file, saying that yes, there is headers. As you can see, the headers is email, so it's not gonna read that, and then it's going to uh, loop into each row, and it's going to call the um, CSV parser deserialize method, which is basically taking a row and deserialize uh, the row as a person. So the deserialize method is actually come from the person serializer, as you can see here. So basically, it's a module. It's Yeah, it's a module where I have two methods, the serialized and the deserialized method. The serialized no, the deserialized method take a row from the CSV file and actually return a person. So it basically takes the email and then scan scan the email and decompose the email into uh, nothing here, the first name and the last name, and we put a scope ID because it's just a value. Don't really care about that. And after that, we initialize a person and we return it. The class person is very basic, like a basic class person. And so get back to that. So here we obtain a person, we get a person from here, and we push it into an object of an array of objects, basically. And then we call the right method. So the right method is pretty much not doing the same thing, but here we actually can pass the name of the file we want to output if we want to. And what I was saying, yeah. So and here we're using one of the first, I mean the first object of the into the list of subjects that we deserialized from the path method here. And then we actually looking at the instance variables of that object. We join those instance, I mean these instance variables, and then we scan them to get like the word of the instance, like how they called, because usually you will see something like that. You will get something with the at, and we don't really need that. We actually care about that, and we want them as I forgot. No, actually, not even without as an array. It's not really an array. This is gonna return an array, and then we join the array. So it's actually making a bunch of how to say that? I forgot. But basically, I'm gonna show you here if I find it. No, it's not here. It's no, join. Basically, it's gonna join everything from the array as soon as I find it. Yeah. So when you have a bunch of array like that, it's just gonna return a string basically. What's that? What I was about to say. Um, then we have the header here because we want to create our CSV output with a header, which is here, first name, last name, scope ID, and email. And then we open that file with in a read mode, in a write mode. The B is for binary, and we say, okay, we have headers, write the headers, and we pass the headers actually created from the. So as you can see, the headers are actually generated dynamically according to the objects. And then we go to the list of objects created in the path method, and we write on the CSV file using the serialize method, passing an object. So the serialize method is basically returning an array of data from the person. That's it. And after that, we just said I'm just saying that, okay, the file has been created, and that's it. And that's actually something that I learned from my mentor. It's really, really useful so that you don't really have to pass all those arguments the into the method. Like it's very, very useful. And you don't even have to name them. Like you just name a bunch a one parameters. You put 2 stars and then you pass them right here. And when you want to call them, when you want to use them, you just put the hash right here with the key and the value, another key and then the value. So I said that was right binary, and when actually we want to read it, it's different. So this is for the read, and yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, I can actually explain a little bit. Here you can see that I'm doing an extend, so this is actually adding behavior to that parser, and it's basically creating um, class method for that parser. If I had if I had done include, it would have created instance method for that parser, but this is not what I wanted. I wanted a class method, so I can call it directly like that. And yeah, that's it. I did a little bit of tests. I think it's not actually, I don't, is it here? No, that was the test I was doing, but I think I would, yeah, for the serializer actually. So basically, I have a person and I have a row, and when serializing a person using the serialize method, it should be equal to an array, and then when I'm deserializing a row, um, which is this row, it should basically create a person with those attributes within it. So that's it, very, very simple test. That's it for you guys. Thank you for watching, and don't hesitate to put comment on the video or maybe reach out to me or yeah, thank you very much. Bye bye.